Wow, hello there. It is Monday, Memorial Day, and we're going to be talking about politics. Now, I think Memorial Day is kind of lost on a lot of people. I think a lot of people take the day off and not realizing why we have barbecue and crappy beer and we spend time with friends and family. It is because people like me went overseas to defend our freedoms from foreign invaders. People like probably my father too, because he was in the military, is people that go into foreign combat and fight battles there so we don't see it here stateside. That's what Memorial Day is, but nothing's, at least that's how I interpret Memorial Day. That's my little memorial speech right there. But we're going to be talking about Texas politics because this is something interesting to me. It is the first attorney general that I'm aware of in my lifetime in the state of Texas that has been impeached. So this is very interesting. I mean, the first president that was ever impeached in my lifetime was Bill Clinton, and then Trump comes around and gets impeached twice. But this is going to be, like I got CNN, I got the Texas Tribune, which I don't really agree with. I don't really support them. I think they're heavily biased, just like CNN is. But this is so I got two sources from Texas Tribune and a Houston local station right here, according to the summarizers. But this is a summarizer from Brave. Texas Attorney General has settled a whistleblower lawsuit filed by four former top officials in his office who claim that they were fired for reporting alleged crimes by Paxton to law enforcement. Paxton lawyers argue that he was exempt from the state's Whistleblower Act because he's not a public employee. Oh, he's not a public employee. However, the panel of the Texas Third Court Appeal Justice expressed skepticism of Paxton's argument and that the case should be thrown out on the grounds that Paxton is not subject to whistleblower law. I mean, it's kind of rich of him coming with that. I am actually, I don't know where my bias is when it comes to Ken Paxton. This is his third term, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't really care one way or the other than the fact that if he actually broke rules or broke the law, then he should be held accountable. And that's where my bias is. I don't even think I voted for a libertarian attorney general. The settlement that will pay the employees $3.3 million. The FBI has also issued subpoenas for the records for the Texas Attorney General Office on an ongoing investigation to allege against or into allegations against Paxton. Now, the FBI has been investigating Paxton since President Obama. They haven't brought him to trial. Now, it could be that justice goes really slow and they want to make sure if they're going to go after Attorney General that they're going to have all their ducks in a row. They're going to cross their I's and dot their T's, as they say. But I honestly don't know. I mean, I really don't know. You would think if there was an investigation, they would have brought something up. I mean, we already saw what they did with former President Donald Trump. They raided his house. So, of course, I'm going to go with CNN. I mean, take it with what you want. I mean, the Texas House of Representatives also voted to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton in an unprecedented move following legislation probe that faults the third term Republican for years long pattern of corruption, including abuse of his office, retaliating against whistleblowers, and obstructing justice. Under state law, Paxton is now temporarily suspended from his duty as Attorney General and will await a Senate trial. The vote was 21-23, with two members voting present. The evidence is substantial That's alarming and unnerving, said the GOP rep Andrew Murr, chair of the General Investigation Committee, during his closing statement following hours of debate. The committee recommended 20 counts of impeachment against Paxton. The Democrat rep Harold Dutton was one of the members who voted present. He said that the impeachment vote had been rushed. The process by which we're getting this done seems to be abbreviated to the point that it encroaches on due process, said Dutton. Even this Democrat, my understanding, does not like Attorney General Ken Paxton. I mean, they had pretty much several months to present their case, or present enough, or gather enough information to present their case, and it looks like it's just rushed. Paxton denied wrongdoing on Friday news conference, but focused his statements against the impeachment this week on his record as key opponent of President Joe Biden. Paxton's office has filed dozens of lawsuits against the Biden administration. The now suspended Attorney General called the impeachment a politically motivated sham in a statement just minutes after the vote. The ugly spectacle in the Texas House confirmed the outrageous impeachment plot against me was never meant to be fair or just, he said. Of course, he's the accused. He's going to, of course, lash out wherever he can lash out, legally speaking. Patton said that he was never given a chance to present evidence refuting the findings of an investigation that he abused his office. He has cast House Speaker Dade Bellin, a Republican who presides over the chamber, where his party currently holds 85 seats to Democrats' 64. As a liberal, he continues his attack on film, saying film's coalition of Democrats and liberal Republicans are now in lockstep with Biden administration, the abortion industry, the anti-gun zealots, and the woke corporations. The Office of Attorney General issued its own comprehensive report about the allegations following the impeachment vote, saying it's unequivocally refused incorrect testimony against Paxton. The office has also released a report on this commission from the outside law firm, although the report from Lewis Reisler, Bisgard, and Smith LLP notes that it's based only on sorry, that's a weird way of saying it, based only on information and testimony provided by the Attorney General. Republican Governor Greg Abbott can appoint a provisional replacement while Paxton is temporarily suspended. Paxton would be reinstated if he is acquitted at his Senate trial. You see here, the impeachment vote has its origins on the investigation launched in March by the General Investigation Committee of the Texas House, and after Paxton asked the legislature to approve a $3.3 million in government funds to settle the lawsuit with 4 whistleblowers and who were fired from his office. This right here is the crux of the impeachment. This right here is why they chose to impeach him, because he wanted the taxpayers to pay off the settlement, where the Texas House wants him to pay the $3.3 million to the lawsuit. The investigation led to the committee, a 5-member panel investigating corruption in the state, to approve the 20 articles of impeachment. Thursday, setting up the vote for the full house, or in the full House. During the debate, Saturday, Rep. Charlie Garrett, who is Republican, claimed Paxton has threatened fellow House members. I'd like to point out that several members of this House, while on the floor of this House, doing the state's business, received telephone calls from General Paxton personally threatening them with political consequences in the next election. Guerin said opponents of the impeachment largely declined to address the allegations against him, instead focusing on the investigation leading up to the proceeding. I don't think today is about whether there is guilt or innocent. It's about the process, said Rep. Tony Tillerholt says, I'm not here to defend Ken Paxton. Rep. John Smitty stated on the floor. He went on to say, what you're going to be asked to do today is the impeachment without evidence. It's all rumor, all innuendo, it's all speculation. I mean, this is really interesting coming from the CNN. This is a really detailed story about the actual impeachment where you show people making claims that there's no real evidence that he should be impeached. You have the Democrat that says that it was all rushed. There's not enough information to impeach him, so that's why they voted president. You have here what you have being asked today is impeach without evidence. It's all rumors. It's innuendo. It's all speculation. I mean, that's really interesting from the CNN. I just want to point that out. Paxton's impeachment is a stunning rebuke of the Republican officials in a state where the GOP controls all levers of the state government. Kind of. I mean, the Democrats still control the cities. They still control some of the levers. It's not like 100% control, GOP control. The Democrats can go to Washington to break the quorum, which means they can't vote on any new bills unless they come back. Let's see here. State voters in Texas shrugged off the swirling scandals around Paxton last year, handing him a third term in November election. Paxton had an early fought off multiple opponents in the GOP nomination, including a Bush family Scalone, George P. Bush, the state land commissioner, whom he easily bested in a runoff. Paxton has long been a controversial figure who's clashed with Texas legislative leadership, a conservative who has aligned himself with the former President Donald Trump. He led a lawsuit in the 2020 seeking to overturn Joe Biden's victory in the presidential election. He retained support within the Texas GOP. In a statement Friday, the state party chairman Matt Bonanno blasted feeling for what he called a sham impeachment. The voters have supported General Paxton through 3 elections, and his popularity has grown despite millions of dollars spent to try to defeat him. Now the Texas House is trying to overturn the election's results, Rinaldi said, adding that he was looking for the principal leadership of the Senate to restore sanity and reason for our state. In Texas, no attorney general has ever been impeached and removed from office. The only 2 elected officials that lost office as a result of impeachment were Governor James Ferguson in 1917 and District Judge O.P. Carleo in 1975. For Paxton to be removed from office, 2/3 of the Texas Senate members who are present will have to vote to convict him. His wife, Angela Paxton, a state senator representing Dallas area district. It's not clear when the Senate, where the Republicans have a 19-12 majority over the Democrats, will conduct a trial. The state legislative session is scheduled to end Monday. So I guess it ends today, which a special session will have to be called. While only the governor can call a special session once the legislation is out of the biennial regular session, the Texas Constitution states that the impeachment is one issue which the state house and Senate lawmakers can bring themselves into sessions without the governor, according to Mark Jones, a political science professor at Rice University. And this is kind of a long article. Let's see here. CNN previously reported that he was facing an FBI investigation for abuse of office and that Justice Department prosecutors in Washington took over the corruption investigation into Paxton, where he was also under indictment for security frauds in a separate unrelated case. Paxton has denied all charges and allegations. This pretty much talks about the Obama investigation. According to the Texas Tribune, I'm just going to read the headline. Lawyers currently leading the Texas Attorney General office have been swept up in the Ken Paxton challenges. Let's see here. The state executive low in office forming from immigration voting to fail overturn the blah 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 blah. Following the Texas Saturday vote to impeach Paxton, the Attorney General second command has temporarily become the top lawyer. The stunning vote immediately suspended Paxton from his duty and elevated a relatively unknown attorney into the place of the popular statewide office. Lesper is now in charge of a sprawling agency that serves both a state law firm and working on routine matters like child support enforcement, and as the legal juggernaut helping to advance the Republican Party priorities in the courts. I mean, I understand why you had to put that there, Texas Tribune, but it's really un, unnecessary. You could put legal juggernaut helping to advance the state's priority into the courts, but instead you want to do a dig at the Republican Party because you're a hack of a website. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's where my bias is kicking in with the Texas Tribune. Let's see, Paxton's deputy since 2020 is the self-proclaimed constitutional conservative, has indicated that he doesn't plan to stray from the Attorney General's approach onto the job. In Saturday email to agency employees, Westbrook touted that the agency's credentials as a foil to the Biden administration's illegal actions. The state of Texas has no better elected official than Ken Paxton defending citizens' rights, fighting for justice, and preserving freedom. Westbrook wrote, "Thank you for your continued excellence and hard work during this time. You can rest assured that the executive team will continue to work tirelessly and will continue to be the best legal team in America." It is unclear how Westbrook will remain at the helm. State law puts him in charge if the Attorney General is absent or unable to act. Governor Abbott can decide to appoint someone to temporarily fill the vacancy. Abbott is a former Attorney General himself with deep ties to the conservative legal universe, but he has been so far silent on Paxton's impeachment. Westbrook's tenure at the Attorney General office began in October 2020 in the wake of the staffing shakeup that would ultimately lead to Paxton's impeachment over allegations of misconduct, including bribery and abuse of power. Let's see here. Westbrook took over for Jeff Matter, a controversial figure in his own right, who resigned a month after reporting Paxton's alleged criminal behavior to law enforcement agencies, along with 7 other top Paxton aides. His work with the Attorney General quickly mirrored him with legal problems of his own. Westbrook faced professional misconduct brought by the State Bar of Texas for helping Paxton file a long-shot federal lawsuit seeking to overturn the 2020 election, resulting in 4 battleground states that handed the White House to President Joe Biden. I mean, if there was legal cause for him to bring a case against the 2020 election results, then he's within his own right. Now, like I said, I don't know exactly what this entails because I just now read this. The misconduct lawsuit accused Webster of being dishonest for misrepresenting allegations of voting improprieties in the legal challenge, which was ultimately tossed out by the U.S. Supreme Court. Paxton faced a similar lawsuit in Collin County. Abbott and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick both denounced the State Bar initial investigation of Paxton. Now, I don't know if this is a witch hunt. I don't really. I mean, I do care if it's a witch hunt, but I don't really understand the whole process. But I do know that there's forces within the GOP that really does not like President Donald Trump, and they're trying to get rid of his allies in a push for the 2024 election, and this may be caught up into it. Um, I don't think our elections were 100% secure. Where it falters, I don't have an understanding or even an opinion on that. But I do know that the process is to have legal challenges to the process. And if you're not allowed to do that, then the process is broken. And a lot of attorney generals challenged the process, which was their legal right to do so. And now it looks like by doing so, they want to punish the people from challenging the system, which is pretty much part of the bedrock of our legal system. The same thing that they tried to do to Carrie Lake by putting sanctions on her for even daring to bring lawsuits against the election board in Arizona. Luckily, the judge denied those requests and said that he will not put sanctions on Carrie Lake. But that is part of our legal system. That what makes our legal system so robust is the fact that we can challenge it. And I don't know if this is a result of Ken Paxton challenging the election results, that he was legally able to do so. Now, there may be a case where they forgot to cross their I's and dot their T's, as they would say. But he's still within his legal rights to question that. But that is my video for, I guess, this morning. I might have another video later on today. I have the day off, so that gives me a lot of time to, I guess, research, and we'll see what comes of it. I do know that the House, or McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, may have a deal in hand for Biden to agree with. And as I get more details on that, I may present a video later on today on that. That being said, happy Memorial Day. Go ahead and eat some barbecue, drink some crappy beer with your friends. Just as long as it's not a Bud Light or Miller Light, it should be okay. That being said, that is my video, and have yourself a wonderful, wonderful holiday.